Hi, I'm Jacob Henderson, and I'm a programmer on FRC Team 2468. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the command and control code structure for LabVIEW in FRC Part 1. To begin, we're going to need our subsystem. Good thing for us, a subsystem comes with every FRC project you create in LabVIEW. It's called Drive. If we open up the Drive subsystem, we're going to see we have two folders, commands and implementation. If we open up the implementation folder, we'll see a couple folders and a couple VIs that we're going to not pay much attention to, besides the controller VI. Opening the controller VI, we'll see that we have quite a significant amount of code. Good thing for us, most of this is pretty useless and we don't have to do much with it. The only thing we're going to worry about for today's video is this case structure right here. This case structure has a couple different cases that we can use to do different things with the robot. Say for example, this immediate case is where we're going to set motor values, reserve is where we're going to set everything back to 0, etc. However, sometimes you're going to need to do more specific things, and many of these cases won't cut it. To do this, we're going to need to add a new case, and to do that, we're going to head over here, and we're going to right click on this, and we're going to click Edit Typedef, or Open Typedef, I apologize. Doing this basically makes it so you can change what values that this case structure has. Now, we're in this typedef, and we need to create a new case. This is where the cases are, and so what we're going to do is right-click on this, and click Open Typedef here too. Once we're here, we're going to see this enum. This enum is going to hold all the cases, and we can actually cycle through them. So we have reserve, drive for distance, drive for time, and immediate, and read current. If we need to edit a new case or add one, we can right-click on the enum, and click Edit Items. We'll see a list pop up, and this is where all of our cases are stored. To add a new case, we want to click Insert, and then we'll have a new case that we can change the name of. Let's move it to the bottom so we don't mess anything up, and now we can make the name, say, Turn to Angle. Click OK on that, exit out of this, and click Save. So for this Turn to Angle command, we're going to need a new input. And to add a new input, it's fairly simple. All we're going to need to do is copy one of these and paste it. And now we have a new double input that we can use in our controller. So now all we need to do is rename it, say name it angle, and we'll have a new input. So we can exit out of this, save it, and then we'll see that if we pull down on this, we'll have a new input titled angle, which we can then wire in to this case structure. But you'll see if we drop this down, we don't have a new case. That's because we need to create one. So if we add a new case after, it's going to assume the title of the nearest case. But if we change this and make it turn to angle, it'll autocomplete because it knows what we're trying to do. So now we have this new case, and that's great. And that's really all we're going to be doing in controller for today. So we're going to exit out of this, and we're going to head over to the commands folder that we ignored previously. Opening the commands folder, we'll see a couple VIs, and many of these might look familiar because we just saw them. See drive for time, which was a case in the case structure, and immediate, which is a case in the case structure. These are commands that we can use to directly send specific commands to only one case in the case structure, in case we don't want to risk going to the wrong case. This directly goes to immediate, this directly goes to the drive for time VI, or drive for time case. But let's say we want to make it go to a different case, a case that we want to make ourselves. To do so, we're going to want to make it with one of these templates. A template is just as it sounds. It's a way to use a foundation of code to create your own code. So to use a template, we're going to right click on it and click New from Template. And now you'll see that we have a new template VI, and that's template for drive immediate 2, which just popped up on my screen. If I go to File and Save As, I can name it whatever I want, but we're going to name this Turn to Angle. And now we have a Turn to Angle VI, which we can then open and change the code of to make it so that it sends commands directly to the Turn to Angle case structure. So now we can close out of this, save it, and that's all we're going to be worrying about today in commands. Going back into the implementation folder, I want to talk more about Teleop. Teleop is where we're going to send commands to the controller, and Teleop can get quite cluttered, especially if you have a lot of robot code. So what we do to avoid that is we use something called a handler file. A handler file is something you can think of as a mini Teleop for a very specific subsystem. And to create a handler file, we want to open up the implementation folder, right click on it, click New, and click VI. And now we have this new untitled VI that we can do whatever we want with. If I click File and I click Save As, then we'll be able to change it to whatever we want, and we'll just name it drive handler. So now we have the drive handler VI, and we can do whatever we want with this. So let's go into Teleop, and we can drop that into the block diagram so that we can use it in Teleop. We'll see that we have a lot of code in Teleop that we're not going to worry too much about. In fact, you can just delete all of this. And so now we're going to open up our handler file by right-clicking and clicking Select a VI. And we're going to drag the handler file on, or we're going to double-click the handler file and drag it onto the block diagram. Now it doesn't have any inputs because we haven't put any code in it, but you could do that and we could make it so it does exactly what we want. This is just the basics, and you don't really need to go much deeper into this for this video. That's really all I had. That's going to be Command and Control Code Structure Part 1. Christian Fluelling is going to be going over Command and Control Code Structure Part 2, where he gets into things like robot main, begin, and auto. So watch that video to see more.